Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
Your mother, did she date other men?
Oh, God.
This is episode 260, recorded May 29th, 2024.
I'm your Boogey Man.
Boogey Man.
Gruesome Magazine.
Yeah, is that Casey and the Sunshine Band?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Is
Not
it?
the way
It
I
sounds
sing
like
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it.
all right. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode by co-hosts Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic
Mhm.
film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl, and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast, and has her own YouTube channel,
Yeah.
The Gothic Cottage. So
Yep.
check that out. She does reviews. She lets you know when all the good stuff's out at the retail
Home
stores for
Depot.
Halloween.
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yeah,
Yay, it's
so-
Halloween already.
It's
Really?
coming.
Crystal,
Yeah.
it's good to
Crazy.
see you.
It's good to see you too. No, but really, Bill? No, I already got my first Halloween thing. There's
The
Halloween
Frankenstein.
in
Was that the
stores.
Frankenstein head?
The Frankenstein. But at
Yeah.
home, they have Halloween in the stores and Joanne. Like literally in the stores right now, y'all. It's May.
They should give you like a 50% discount just for all the people you probably send their way.
Getting,
I'm
it's becoming big, I guess.
Crazy. Yeah, it's huge. Like, but you know what's going to happen though? This is what kind of sucks for people that don't pay attention to this is if you do like Halloween, if you want to buy something like, and you're like, oh, it's going to be October soon. I'll buy something and there will be nothing for
Nothing.
you.
There won't even be any
Nothing.
candy
That
corn.
Christmas will be out then
Right,
in October. Guaranteed Christmas for sure.
Yep.
Yep. That's
Well, it's good to see you, Crystal.
Good to
Also
see you
joining
too,
us
yeah.
is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, the all of them.
yeah.
And
Wait.
funny
And-
background guy.
And
How you
he's
doing,
muted.
Chad?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what happened? Why does it feel so dead in
How did I
here?
mute?
So
How did
he
you mute it?
couldn't say anything until I was done talking.
No. I wasn't going to speak anyway until Jeff was done. Yeah, I'm great. I'm good.
Excellent.
Vaseline background and everything.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it because it's trippy.
I like
Mhm.
it too. Makes me feel like I'm moving at fast speed. But I'm really just sitting here.
Well,
Yeah.
bugs
Just
me
need to get a
because I
little
can't
more
see the
Vaseline in the middle part.
No, that's fine, Bill. The middle part's fine.
Okay.
whole. You could
good.
just put Vaseline on your glasses, Chad, and then
Yeah.
it would look.
I
that way
already
too.
can't see worth a crap anyway. So
Also with us. Last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades for the 1970s, all-around nice guy, and a public
A guy who always has to have
There you
that
go.
book nearby so you can, like, yeah.
Good.
Realm.
Rome.
spell it R-A-U-M.
R-A-U-M. I need to
Google
have
it.
Crystal. I need to have Crystal write a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Figure
Well,
something out.
Bill, you ever going to have an audiobook of it?
Oh, I'll read your audiobook for you.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah, I will. I'll do good too. That was one of my favorite things that I used to do when I was in theater. And like we used to do prose and then where you'd read them in the different voices and stuff. It was fun.
There you
That'd
go,
be
I
Bill.
awesome.
She's a
won
lock-in.
so many awards when I was in theater, y'all.
That would be
So
awesome because
good.
then I could find out how to
Yeah.
pronounce some of these words I wrote.
lots of consonants.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm saying?
I just
Okay.
got like thesaurus.com on permanent up in the corner there. You know, I don't know what they.
I
All
don't
right.
always
So,
trust it. Sometimes it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know. Mhm.
I need a new
Sorry.
paradigm.
Just to remind everybody,
That's funny.
Decades of
That's
Horror,
funny.
Gruesome Magazine, partner with Play Now Media, and Decades of Horror, the 1980s is available to stream
Yes.
on their Wicked Horror TV channel. And once again, you can subscribe without paying any fees, and you'll have ads in your movies, and there'll be some premium content that you're blocked from. If you pay their monthly fee, you can see everything without ads. Either way, we are there, as is
Yeah.
Decade 4 of the 1970s and Decade 4 of the classic era. So check us out there.
Yes. Yes.
We're not just YouTube folks. All
You
right.
never know what Jeff's gonna say. That's why I'm like,
I don't
okay.
think
Yeah,
Jeff knows what he's going to say.
You're right. It's train of thought, man.
Okay.
Stream of
All right.
consciousness.
Yes.
There's an alien factor that.
Okay,
puts thought
Jeff,
to
let's
that.
go.
Okay.
Let's get on.
What
With
the hell?
That was the movie we did yesterday.
Yeah, this so far this
I
intro
knelt
is the
down
equivalent
and
of
saw this
walking through the
bright
woods
light.
in Alien Factor.
Yeah.
I tried to empty
That's
my mind,
crazy.
and then
Where's my double speed button on this?
and then I
computer?
began thinking. All right, on this podcast, we start by giving
Oh,
some basic details, if we ever get down to business, of the film we're covering,
God.
taglines, first impressions, and move on down the road with whatever trips our triggers.
God.
And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen this film, it is 44 years old.
You
And
should
it
have
is
seen it
available
by this point.
lots of places. Lots
Although-
of places.
If you haven't seen this
So,
film, you probably got warned by somebody.
I haven't seen it until now.
Oh, really?
So you can,
Really?
yeah, it's my
Okay.
first time.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so watch it for now. What did I say? Basic details. Here are the basic details. The film we're covering today is The Boogey Man, released in 1980, directed by Ulli Lomel, written by Ulli Lomel, Suzanna Love, and David Herschel. And I found out that David Herschel is actually the cinematographer David Sperling, and his middle name is Herschel. But
Okay,
he wanted a different name under the writing credits, I guess.
don't
The
blame
cast includes Suzanna Love, John Carradine, Ron James, and Nicholas Love. The production company is the Jerry Gross organization. It was filmed in Maryland and some bits in California. Released premiere, I guess, was in Cincinnati on August 29th, 1980, and then nationwide November 7th, 1980. The budget is estimated to be $300,000, and the box office, oh, this is good,
Wow.
2.1 million to 25 million. So
That's a pretty big margin of error.
What?
the difference is
Wow.
Ulli Lomel
Jeez.
in an interview said it made $25 million.
Mhm.
Oh,
But
well,
They
that sounds
cleared
I
good.
have a hard
2.1
time.
million after the mob got their cut.
Also, several of the people involved with the film said it was like, I couldn't remember if it was number 1 for 3 weeks or number 3 for 1 week.
Okay.
Either way,
Wait, what?
When
Wow.
it came out. Now I looked up the top movies for that week, that period, and it was not number 1. So might have been number 3. The weekly numbers were pretty low back then.
Mhm.
So it might have earned a bunch. It's got a good title. But I would tend towards the lower number, but what do I know? I'm just estimating. Also known as, help me out, Crystal.
Oh, shit. El espejo. Asiano. Yeah. Asiano. El. Hetetismo del Diablo. Oh, the devil. So wait, there's
The
like 2
murderous
titles
mirror,
here.
quote.
Yeah. Why is
The
there 2
Devil's
titles
Spell.
though?
I don't know.
Is
It's a
that
colon.
one title? Oh, that's one.
That's all
movie
one title. The murderous mirror, the devil's spell.
Oh, that's hard to fit on the marquee.
And then the second Spanish
Spontaneous
one.
el so it's like the reflection. Okay, yeah, the reflection of. Okay, Santana's el reflejo del mal, which is mal is actually like bad, but in this instance, it's like
Yeah.
Bad
Well, and that's why
Satan.
they're saying
Bad
Satan,
Satan.
the
Yeah, you're a,
reflection
who's a
of
bad
evil.
Satan?
All right, the
But I
synopsis.
like that one better.
A young girl. Every place else it was just Boogeyman. I mean, they didn't try to translate or nothing. I think Boogeyman must be a universal term. A young girl witnesses her brother murder their mom's boyfriend through a reflection in a mirror. 20 years later, the mirror is shattered, freeing his evil spirit, which seeks revenge for his death. And reading this is how I found out what the movie was about.
That's yeah.
Oh, it's weird. It's so weird.
So
And
we're
that's a
not really
picture-
spoiling this movie. We're explaining this movie.
Yeah, that's a picture of the one and only John Carradine, who does a fine job in this movie. He is literally a day player. They brought him
Showed up
one
for
day. for $10,000.
Listen,
Oh.
that's pretty sweet lucre for
That
her.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
I've never
You
been
know
paid
what?
anything near that for mowing lawns for a day or whatever I do.
Okay, so like there's a couple poop things I've done, but I got paid some decent money for a couple of those, and I'm like, you would have done it too.
Mhm,
Just for
All right.
Like-
Well, let's get the first impressions. And this was Crystal's pick.
Yeah.
So she gets to go first.
So I've never seen it before. I picked it because, well, I've never seen it before, and I saw it on Shudder, I think it was at first, and I was like, that sounds cool. Let's watch that. So that's how this whole thing went down, y'all. Okay.
That's how to go.
Actually, that's how it went down.
You don't need to explain yourself. Nah, you
But so this movie is not good, and it's not so bad it's good either. It's just not very good at all. That's unfortunate. Like that, and that's hard. Like I didn't dislike it. I just as I started watching it, I was confused because I was like, I read this synopsis and I was like, where's this mirror? What are they talking about? Like the mirror doesn't come in until like feels like it was a while, like probably 25 minutes or so into it.
Halfway
I
through.
did kind of like the aspect of the mirror and how like they used the mirror as like, how they could track it different places and stuff, and how it kept getting broken up. And I was like, that could be a super cool concept if you like had it spread, like that, like how it's carried on a shoe and stuff. I was like, that's kind of neat. The gore effects were garbage, like really bad. Yeah, super bad. I did not hate the green eye thing. I kind of like that. So as I was watching it, I was like, okay, well, whatever. At a point, it's very obvious that this director wanted this to be like an Exorcist. Like it starts to feel like The Exorcist almost complete. Like the music changes to that, and you could tell that they were really trying to go for this whole Exorcist thing. They're like, we're going to capitalize on this Exorcist stuff, but it's not, and it's not as good. It's very odd. None of it makes sense because I don't understand the brother's motivations for some of the stuff that he does, because he's not possessed at that point or whatever, or is he, or what's going on? I get it, they were abused. It's just not.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I'm sorry. Like,
the brothers thing I didn't get. So
I don't. Let me tell you, it's so bad. I don't know if I would even recommend for someone to watch it.
There might be a little bit of splaining in there, and I won't bring it up till I see who else might bring it up. But
okay,
appreciate it, Crystal. Although hey.
I mean, I don't hate that I watched it. It's one more I've never seen. That's cool.
There's a big shadow sneaking up behind you there, bud.
It does look creepy.
It does look very like you're about to be killed.
Yeah.
Little tiny head, but very broad shoulders.
Holds my butt.
It almost looks like Pinhead.
Yep.
Not Pinhead, but Pinhead's puppet master.
So, Chad, you had a particular comment about this in our chat. When did you first see this, and what's your impression?
Well, I first saw the video box in the video store when I was a young lad and never picked it up to watch it. I don't know why, but I just never did. But that I didn't realize that until you showed us the posters that we're going to see later. So this is the first time I've seen it. And 5 minutes in, I came to the conclusion that this movie is the tramp stamp on the ass of my beloved horror genre.
I know.
This is there's so much, there's more not to like than there is to like, that's for sure. Again, I was with you guys on the brother. I can understand why he killed the guy at the beginning.
Oh, sure.
Right.
I can understand that. What I don't understand is, and I'm sure everybody will agree with this, that's fine. You're traumatized. You're living with trauma. You're dealing with life as it comes, and however the easiest way you can deal with it. Why choke a girl, a good girl that's coming on to you? And Why choke her? Why try to
Yeah.
strangle her? And then
Yeah.
nothing's ever said about it again.
No, yeah.
Nothing's ever said about it again. How dare you come on to me?
Yeah.
And
Apparently, she just ran out of the building and never told anybody.
No.
I guess
Well, because she was kind of wrong. She was wrong. Let's be
and
real.
she was
Like,
embarrassed too.
but yeah.
Mm.
But I'm with
Still.
Crystal. This was a kind of a cool concept, but it just executed in a very shoddy way. And it looks like and it feels like 3 different movies.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like the whole end that was a different movie. The beginning was a different movie, with the children and everything. And then it was just strange, weird, and non-cohesive, and nothing stuck together very well. And some of the effects really bothered me.
Oh yeah.
Like when her husband, it looked like he got his eyeballs blown out.
Yeah, and then he's fine.
And then he's laying on the floor and he's just got a little drop of blood around his eyes, but it looked like his eyeballs just got ripped out.
Mhm.
And he was an idiot, by the way. And it was just a strange film. And I'm still glad I waited 40 years to
Yeah.
watch it.
All right. Thank you, Chad.
No
And now,
worries.
Bill Mulligan. When did you
Mm.
first see this, and what are your impressions?
I
and
first saw
otherwise?
this just a couple days ago. I have been
Okay.
aware of this film for as long as it has existed, and for whatever reason, I never felt the desire to see it. First of all, the Boogey Man is like, oh, a Boogey Man, that doesn't. But there is no Boogey Man, so that shouldn't have scared me off. I really have a feeling that I read a review from someone I must have respected that said it was pretty much rubbish. And that was that. But the name Ulli Lomel stuck in my head for a while, and I would every now and then come across a videotape or something with him on it, and they all look like rubbish too. And
Oh, well.
I've actually discovered he's an interesting cat. He has an interesting story, an interesting progression, and apparently at least one decent film to his credit, the Tenderness of Wolves, that might be worth seeking out. But he started out working with Fassbinder and then ended up making just horrible direct-to-video dreck based on serial killers. He did a bunch of them. He did a lot of movies. I don't know exactly. Worked with Andy Warhol. I don't know what his story is. But this is slow. Takes a long while to get going. I started liking it more toward the end. But that's, because stuff was happening at least, but that's also a reflection of how much I was bored in the beginning. It does get better as it goes along, but that's still pretty faint praise. It like people have mentioned, it's too many movies clumped together, lots of Exorcists. Crystal's right. The music is such an Exorcist ripoff. There's some of that. There's some Halloween thrown in there. There's some Carrie, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Amityville Horror. Don't forget.
Oh, the house right
the
at
house,
the end.
straight
Oh my
out of
God, it's
Amityville Horror.
ridiculous. When I saw the house, I was like, what is it? What?
This movie rips off so many movies. I've lost track of how many movies. It's a Franken film, and not very satisfying. I don't know why. The other thing I remember hearing about this is that this was one of the video nasties. This is one of the movies they tried.
No way.
Yes, this is a genuine video nasty. In England, I guess it was a slow news year, so they started complaining that all these horror films were corrupting the youth, and they made a list of like 30 films. Now some of them like make them die slowly. You're like, okay, yeah, pretty hardcore, but then some of them were like this, and you're like, this is a wet fart of a movie. No one's going to go out and murder people based on the Boogey Man.
I agree. Like, this is awful.
So
okay.
Jesus.
You done, Bill?
They probably paid people to put them on the list because that's the kind of publicity you couldn't buy. So yeah, I'm done.
So if you remember, and I'm sure everybody does, the video nasties. Well, first this movie. I first saw this maybe a year ago or so.
Okay.
On Shudder, I saw it and I went, this feels like, there's a lot of stuff out there called the Boogey Man. I mean, there's a Stephen King story called the Boogey Man.
Yeah.
There's a
way better.
And so I watched it and was not impressed. But this time around, doing some research into it, I'm still not impressed, but I understand some things about it. First off, the video nasties. If you remember, Spookies was all screwed up because this guy that owned Vipco, which is a video company in Britain that used to put out the video nasties, he stole them and renamed them and then sold a mail order all over Europe. So that's Vipco put out the Boogey Man overseas originally. It was kind of like when Tipper Gore had the big crusade to put warning labels on albums, record albums. It was kind of like that. It was like I really do think it was some I don't mean this derogatorily, but some women that were active in the church that decided to make some noise,
like some sort of Christian propaganda,
and Parliament listened to them or somebody, and then they made this list. And of course, those are the films that everybody wanted to get. And the only thing you could get of them were really bad copies that had all kinds of crap cut out of them. You know, they were stolen, they were pirated, they might have been cut. I think Vipco was one that would always sell stuff that would say the uncut version, and then the one before that would just be the regular version. That's just really weird, but it was a thing. People sought these movies out. Anyway, so do I? Yeah, this movie is slow. Most of the acting isn't particularly good, and but I do see some things about it that I find kind of interesting, and I don't know if that makes him good. But you're right, Bill. Ulli Lomel hung around with all these art house people, like Andy Warhol and Fassbinder and Germany, and I actually watched The Tenderness of Wolves today.
How was
That's why I watched it in plenty of time, but I forgot that I had to make the intro slide for this. So all of a sudden I'm going, oh crap. And it's the subject matter is a little bit like M.
Yeah, I heard it was almost like a remake of M.
But same subject matter. The German guy that killed all the boys.
Oh, the vampire of Dusseldorf,
early 20s.
Yeah.
I think his name was Carmen, but I can't remember. But with a little more close-up stuff, an MU.
Right. Well,
so
1930 something they weren't going to show.
Yeah, it's creepy. I mean, he is getting boys into his room, and anyway. And it's available pay-per-view right now on Amazon and Apple, I think, for $4. It's a much better made movie, and Fassbinder is a producer and he acts in it. So and so apparently that was his mode. I think I'll back out of this now. And now we do have a little tweak to our regular piece here, but
no, I hope
the tweak is so Crystal, I'm leaving the tweak till the exit part of the piece. Okay. So here we go. I think Chad, this is kind of like last night.
Yeah, he's gonna get off easy again.
It's now time for Taglines with Chad.
Okay.
All righty.
Okay.
And the tagline is, the most terrifying nightmare of childhood is about to return. No, it's not.
Nah, nothing remotely like that happens.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
It's like the one we did last night. I looked everywhere, every poster, every box, everything. That's it. That's the tagline on it. And that's been taglines with. Wait a minute.
Oh no.
Boost a little bit. Taglines. Yeah.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Oh my, bravo!
It's a hit, ladies and gentlemen.
It's so bad. I'm so embarrassed.
No, that is awesome. That is awesome. Oh my god.
I like the little dun, 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 dun at the end.
So it was hard to like find music that like went with
Oh,
it because
I
I was like, I feel like I dragged out here. It should have been Chad's our hero. Like I should have been faster, cool and rad. You know, like instead of like I was like Chad's our hero. Like whatever. Anyway, I'm real picky, but I was like, I wanted to get it done. I wanted to kind of like have it done. I mean, I could tweak it and make it better, you know, figure out something. I don't know.
Bravo, Crystal.
Thanks,
Yes,
Chad.
excellent.
Yay. Thank you, Crystal. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We have been anxiously awaiting.
No, okay. Yeah, no.
And it
let's
was
not
worth
say.
it was worth the fun. Oh no, it was
I'm like, oh
Um,
no. Now I've got so much pressure.
we just have to remember, everybody remember, we are amateur.
With him
podcasters.
reading taglines, they can't be that bad. Is that okay? Is the lines okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chad's our
it is.
hero, cool and
It is.
rad. With him
Especially
reading
with Chad's our
taglines.
hero, cool and
Chad's
rad.
are here. Yeah, you know he was
Yeah,
gonna like that.
especially that part.
Yeah. I mean, you do make the taglines
Well,
better.
That's true. He is our
do it
hero.
one more
Not all
time.
heroes wear capes. Yeah, let's hear it again.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
I feel like I'm on The Price is Right in the 70s with that little music at the end.
Yeah. And but the jingle sounds 50s. See, that's
Yeah.
what was hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like it
actually
even
doing
better the
my own.
second time. Every time I hear this, I'm going to hear new nuances. I love your inflection. I love the little bits that you give to each word. That is just a great job. I'm not just
Yes.
blowing smoke here. That is an
Okay.
awesome job.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Yeah. Love you, Chad. You're
Oh,
awesome.
thank you. I love you too. Thanks for doing that.
Makes all those
course.
taglines you had to read worthwhile now.
Well,
I don't know
Hey.
about that.
That's
Oh, that was
uh,
only one. God, one.
taglinitis
sucks.
disinfectant.
yeah.
One tagline.
All right.
Like, I feel like the movie didn't try if they only put out one tagline, though.
Oh, I
Like-
feel like this movie definitely did
Oh.
not try. No doubt
So,
there.
Here's the
Yeah.
poster. Not
A
bad
decent poster. Not a bad poster,
Mm.
actually.
It's awful. I
So-
don't get it.
That's why I never watched the movie. I hated this poster. I thought it was terrible.
What I heard about, so I watched a bunch of video interviews and stuff talking about Ulli Lomel. He died 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fairly recently.
But they basically said they went from being, he's a brilliant auteur that never was recognized, to he's brilliant at getting things done. He always manages. It sounded to me like he was sort of a Pied Piper, that he would get these people around him and make a movie without having any money, and would always just come up with stuff and make it happen right at the end.
Sounds
But
like
then
a
by the time he got done with the movie,
Yeah.
he was ready to move on. So all that stuff to do with marketing and distribution and getting the money back from them was just sort of.
Well, I
Overkill.
read something that his wife, Suzanna Love, was like an heiress. So he may
Oh.
Yes, she was.
Okay, so that's cool.
Okay.
He reminds
But he did
me,
make money, right? Because the movie, surely the
So,
movie makes money.
They didn't,
According
they
to-
didn't cost anything. So
Yeah, according to Suzanna Love, he just, that they basically, the distributor screwed him and lied, and they didn't get any money. Now, she did say there was a
Ooh.
point where
Yikes.
somebody was going to buy the rights to 3 of their movies for like $180,000, and he just couldn't be bothered. There was going to be like 4 people that each got $40,000 or $50,000. And she thought that was a pretty good deal considering what they'd had so far.
yeah,
She also said he owed her a lot of money, he just was like, that was just sort of like, he never really thought about paying it back or anything.
he
Okay.
kind of
He's like
reminds
a
me of
winner.
he kind of reminds me of Ray Dennis Steckler, where he just
Oh, yeah.
always making stuff. How I've got some, I
Yeah.
can actually scrape up enough to buy some more film. Let's go shoot.
Well,
some.
and he never took vacation, apparently. She says we went to Hawaii for 2 weeks for vacation once, and after 3 days, he said, "I can't stand it. I got another idea. Let's go back to L.A."
He sounds like
That
fun.
that's what he did, and then he literally had these people around, and they kept talking about all these weird living arrangements. This friend of his was living with Suzanna, and then he would come over, and then somebody else lived with him, and then they were always hanging out at Andy Warhol's for a while, and then it just goes. I think he gets like I say, like the Pied Piper. He gets these guys excited and he invites them in, and a lot of, they get experience. The guy that did the cinematography had only ever done documentaries before.
Okay.
And the editor, I think it was the editor, had never edited before.
Oh God!
What? Okay, now
Okay.
that's crazy.
But he was there from the very
Because-
beginning and worked
that's
very
hard.
close with them.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say, if you're a
and-
rich tycoon, this has got to be your ultimate nightmare. That your daughter, the heiress, brings home this guy who just like
I
makes
know,
makes
right?
crappy
Yeah, she-
movies and doesn't care whether they make any money at all. And it's like, okay,
well, she got she got her mother to kick in on this one. She was a DuPont heiress, according to the
Oh.
stuff that I saw. And when she talks about her background, like growing up, it's always about, well, so I went to Spain to get away from everybody, and then I lived in London for a while, and then I went back to school in Princeton, and
Oh
was a
my!
friend.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't sound like that. She just sounds matter of fact about it.
yeah, I mean
she
that's
doesn't
the
sound-
reality,
I
right?
don't think she was snooty about it.
If
It
I was
just
rich, that's how I would sound.
That's
what
how I
it
would-
was.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway,
I would totally sound snooty.
Right.
I'd be like, I'm so much better than all of you people.
she was amazingly kind to Ulli Lomel,
You're wearing
considering the way it
that.
sounded like they were treated.
Ew.
And they
Yeah.
actually got married originally, so he could get his green card.
Oh, like
Oh, so even
Once again,
better.
Always a good
if I
idea.
am Mr. DuPont, I'm sticking my head in my gas oven
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
They
Holy
didn't
smokes.
like him. Although
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think
her mother
they did invest? Yeah.
her mother played Aunt Helen in the movie,
That's funny.
the house where they were
Oh.
living.
Yeah.
And she gets hung up in the barn.
Yeah. I'll bet she loved telling the story to all of her other society friends. Oh, yes,
yeah.
I'm in a video nasty now.
A
All right,
video
well,
nasty. That's so funny.
And she did get
Sounds
kind of,
like
she
a
thought it was
porn.
ridiculous, but yet she thought it was kind of cool.
So we've painted a picture of what this guy is like. And you know, maybe the audience out there, they're trying to I wonder what this guy looks like. So here's a picture I found. And
Jeez.
yeah, that pretty
Looks
much
like
sums it up.
Mickey Rourke's lesser cousin.
But these movies,
This
Cocaine
is
Cowboy, I think has Jack Palance. I don't see him
Oh.
there. Oh yeah, there he
That
is on the
sounds
top.
familiar.
Oh, he
Yeah.
got to work with some big stars. He got to work with Klaus
Um,
Kinski. I'll bet that was a lot of laughs.
Yeah, and I saw there was somebody else. I don't remember now. And there's a movie called Olivia that was after this that had a pretty decent cast.
Strangers in Paradise, and good luck finding that because there's a much better known movie with the same name. Seems like an interesting premise that but then toward the end, he just would take Night Stalker, Zodiac, Green River, BTK, whatever, just whoever was a American serial
Yeah, were those
killer.
full-length movies or were they?
Those were
They-
actual movies,
And they
Yeah.
all had like a 1.5 rating in IMDb.
Well,
There's a
good.
whole
That's
string of those like that.
very
And I'm
generous.
going, what? So she also said, let me think for a second here. Susanna Love also said, well, they were only married for about 8 years. That when she married him, he's running around with all these, he was showing the tenderness of wolves at a festival in Toronto, and it was sort of a big deal, because it was ahead of its time. It was like 1973, I think, or something, and it was pretty
yeah.
down and dirty about this pedophile character.
What?
Um,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's
okay.
a fair amount of full frontal male nudity in that movie. So
Where do I stand in line for that one?
yeah,
I know.
I'm warning you.
Yeah.
I'm just warning you. So
Yeah.
then they go and she gets with him. I think she was in, I don't know if she was in Cocaine Cowboys or not, but they make the Boogey Man, and she's like, going, what's going on? I thought you were this art guy. Now we're
Yeah.
doing exploitation.
After so pedophilia is fine with her. It's
Right,
like,
right.
oh God. I mean,
As long as
you
it's
know.
artsy. But she didn't realize Boogey Man was a high watermark. Things went downhill fast. This guy feels like I mean, he obviously liked making movies. He just didn't like it enough to make good ones. This is like a guy who really has the potential to be a great chef. And he ends up basically working at Applebee's. No, Applebee's is too good. Ruby Tuesdays. You know, he goes someplace. Yeah. You know,
Well,
I don't know. I don't get it. There's a
I
story
get
there.
Ted Nugent vibes from this guy.
Yeah.
but he said he was.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody said he was really good at, that picture, certainly. He was really good at, it's like he couldn't be stopped. When he was making a movie, he always found a way to get it done. Now, they also said they thought his low budget producer's sense overrode the directing artistic quality, that he did amazing things to cut the cost. Like one of the things was only one take. And somebody would say, "Well, can we shoot that again?" The cameraman or somebody, and they'd go. I think they told a story about John Carradine. John Carradine was like that too. He was like one take, and
Jesus.
the cameraman said, "Oh, we need to shoot this one again," and Carradine's like, "Oh man, what for?" And the mic was turned off. Well, let's shoot it again. It was like, oh my God, I guess we have to.
Calling up his agent. Did that check actually go through?
But he thought it was ridiculous to do lots of takes, and he was all into saving film. And in fact, there was one movie that he shot a big chunk of the movie with ends.
Yeah.
And he mapped out all the shots, ends of the film reel. So like, here's 120 inches. Here's
just pieced a bunch of.
Oh, okay. I didn't. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
When real movies are being shot, they don't go until they run out of film. They stop before and then these ends are just like cut them and put them together and sell them cheap.
Wow.
So he had them all marked with what shot they were going to be used for, because they were just But then the shots end up being quick because they need to be quick, not because that's the way it should be. So anyway, kind of a strange sort of I swear I got this real or even Andy Warhol feeling about him. Andy Warhol wasn't like this vivacious, outgoing guy but somehow or another all these people just he attract like moths to the flame kind of thing.
They do the same thing to the Kardashians.
There you go. All right. Well, that's Ulli Lomel. He's the writer director here.
What's he? Is he alive still?
No, he passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Suzanna Love, who again is the DuPont heiress, and I just kind of want to run through this because the more I got into it, the more I was kind of shocked by all of this. Okay, so the movie was shot at that was her uncle's farm, and her uncle was a deputy secretary of defense and secretary of the Navy at some time. And he and her aunt were in the church scene where they have like a dolly shot going down the side of the church and you see the people singing in the pews. In the house where they go back to where they used to live, and there's the two girls there. The older sister is Lucinda Ziesing. That was a friend of hers from Princeton.
Oh, cool.
And the little sister, she called her cousin Noni, but I'm assuming that's a nickname. So I think it might have been Jane Pratt, but I'm not sure. That was her cousin, the one that gets stabbed with the scissors. Well, of course, her Nicholas, the guy that played Willie, that's her brother.
Willie.
That's actually her brother in real life.
That's her real brother.
Well, no wonder why he was so bad. I'm glad he didn't have dialogue, because when he did it was bad.
It was terrible.
Bad. Yeah, I was like, okay, that makes so much more sense then. Okay, that's interesting.
And then the Aunt Helen, the couple that lived in the house that everybody else was there visiting, I guess, or something. That was her mother, Felicity Morgan.
Okay.
So a big the little boy and little girl's mother was Gillian Gordon, and she was a friend of Suzanna's from Princeton. I think I got a
what
little.
we never even like heard about the mom again. Like,
no, we didn't. Oh, she was in an asylum or something. She sent him a letter and said they wanted.
no, I know that, but
okay.
but they didn't even. That was like
Yeah.
so weird. Oh no, you shouldn't go visit her. You should go to the house. You should totally go to the house. What?
Yeah, that worked out well.
Is
So-
weird. That's so weird.
Her and the
last
girl
thing.
that got strangled went off and they made a coffee
One last thing we go for. The editor,
lemonade stand or something.
the rough cut of this movie was 57 minutes long.
Okay.
And they went,
I wanna see that version.
Oh crap. We need to have 80 minutes. So they tried to get more money, and somebody told them, hey, if you get a name actor that's
That's
that
where
we
John
can sell
Carradine came in.
overseas, and hey, I know John Carradine. So they got John Carradine. So the scenes with John Carradine were added. So about 20 to 25 minutes was shot after they were done with the movie. So it obviously changed. Like, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure the scenes at the end in the cemetery were added.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the piece of glass falling out, and the scenes at the lake might have been added too. I'm not entirely certain.
That's because it's a bunch of unrelated people. It's okay. So wait, John Carradine is the reason why they went back to the house in the first place. Without him, there's no reason for them to go back to the house. It was even
So
this movie was even dumber before the padding.
Well, she might have just had like because she does have statements away from John Carradine where he's like, I don't think it's a good idea. And she goes, I want to go back to my, it seemed like it was as a result of this, but they might have been just having that argument. I need to go back to our house, but that's the only thing I could think of. And then you guys all talked about it. So the reason for all these killings is when she breaks the mirror in the room, it releases the spirit of the guy they killed. But that doesn't. So apparently when Willie tries to kill
that's
them,
exactly it.
That woman.
It
That was added too. That part was added too. She was called in after it was all the shooting was done, and they did that scene where he strangles her. And I couldn't figure out, well, wait a minute, they haven't broke the mirror yet, so what's going on?
I know.
He's just
had they done it as a different timeline, it would have been better. Like, come on.
Well, the editor had never edited a movie before, so this is what happened.
Okay, yeah.
This is getting worse and worse as we go.
That was another added scene. This is almost like Spookies in a way.
Yeah.
Although it was all the same people. They didn't fire them all and bring a new crew in. It's like, wait a minute. We only have an hour. We need another 20 minutes.
How do you end up with a movie that's only 50 minutes long? Do you not notice that your screenplay is just like on a Post-it stamp?
I don't know. He's only doing one shot, so it was pretty.
Yeah.
It was pretty. Anyway, now.
The whole thing of them going back to their house too. Who lets strangers into the house and go, hey, just go look around?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Have a field day.
Yeah.
We're only underage children here,
Mm-hmm.
left alone by our parents for the whole weekend.
Yep.
Feel free to roam.
But I sort of dug the way that the little kid gets killed. I like that.
Oh yeah, the little kids.
It was a lame
funny.
shot, but I liked that he died because he was a little.
He was a creep.
Yeah.
I like the part too where after she smashed the mirror and her husband comes up and grabs the chair away from her, he swings back and almost hits the other girl walking behind him. She had to duck back out of the door before she was going to get hit. Then he had two ghosts on their hands.
Yep.
This freaking movie. God. Sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, it's just getting worse somehow.
So Suzanna Love, we were kind of talking about her. Most of the stuff she did was his, I think.
She was not that bad, actually. I'm
she wasn't
kind
terrible.
of shocked that she was, yeah.
She was in Hair. That was her first credit. That's when she hooked up with Ulli somehow or another, Milos Forman. And then Cocaine Cowboys, Boogey Man, Blank Generation, Brainwaves, Olivia, Boogey Man 2, Devonsville Terror, Strangers in Paradise are all Ulli Lomel movies. I don't know about Revenge of the Stolen Stars. It might have been. She talked very admirable. Oh, yeah, that's the one with Klaus Kinski, I think. Is it? Yeah, I won with it. So she has that. She has that. Oh. Ulli Lomel was also an actor. He acted in. He was one of the leads in Russ Meyer's Fanny Hill.
Oh wow,
Fanny Hill. That sounds familiar.
it's a famous book, but
Okay.
Yeah, it was
okay.
supposed to be. It was billed as a female Tom Jones, but anyway. So she really hasn't done anything.
Tom Jones.
Well, there was a movie.
it's not
Tom
unusual to be. Oh, that
Jones. Not that Tom. Or do I have the name wrong? Is it Tom?
No,
somebody?
you're right. You're right. Yeah, Tom Jones. These are like famous bawdy tales from the 1800s or something.
Yeah. There you go. Body that's the word I was looking for.
Body. That's a good one. Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Stop
Well-
being bawdy. You're so damn bawdy.
So I did kind of like that scene there where
Yeah.
the green star on her eye, and that was
Me
actually
too. I didn't hate
Yeah, it
that.
was
Like I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then she levitated a little bit. That was kind of cool. You know, I mean, yeah, that's got, like I
Conveniently
said-
in a closet where somebody behind her could have been lifting her up.
Oh, don't give
Oh.
away all the secrets, Chad. There are people like, how'd
Yeah,
they do
Chad.
that?
it was a
I don't
seesaw.
think anybody's wondering that shit.
They had like a teeter totter that lifted her somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And they had some
Sounds
black,
about right for
some
this
cloth,
movie.
dark cloth hung behind or in front of that. And they said that shot with the thing, that was one of those. That was a reverse, shoot it one way and then reverse it. So the piece of the mirror
okay.
flying
Piece of
into
mirror
her
hits
eye
Yeah.
was they put it in her eye, and the cinematographer, when he gets the green star, goes now, and she lets it fall out, and then they reversed it. So anyway, that's something I'd want to do. Stick that piece of mirror in there, and she was like all Stepford Wives there for a minute. And what about when the priest? Okay, the priest has all this blood running down his head.
Yeah.
And then when he falls back, he's stabbed in the back by like
he's got a fork in
knives.
his back. Yeah. And
59.
somehow the blood's running down his head. Yeah. Okay.
Y'all, this movie is super bad. Super bad. Okay. It's just
Do not
Like,
question
like-
the supernatural.
we just keep pointing out stuff that I'm like, yeah, that's worse even.
So John Carradine. Oh, I could have put up posters for
John
what?
was fine,
300
honestly.
movies or so, but I
Oh.
just put up the last few, the ones
I
from
think
like,
he's got
Which-
over 400 credits.
yeah. So these are some of the ones he was working with at the time, and most of them are stinkers, but there is
No, The Howling
The
is
Howling's
a
pretty awesome.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Hello.
Evils of
Yeah.
the Night, conversely, is not, and that makes Evils of the Night look like a masterpiece. I don't
House of
think I've
Long
seen
Shadows is
Demon Rage.
got a bunch of people there.
Yeah, that's got some good actors in it.
I think when I looked it up before, and I'm not going to do it now, but I think when I looked it up before, we've covered more movies with John Carradine in it than any other actor.
Yeah.
I believe
Because
that.
he's got so many bit parts.
Universal.
He's
Universal.
in all
Yeah.
the classic era 70s and
Mhm.
80s, all those.
So here's $60,000 right there. I mean, they bring him in, pay him. He was a great actor, but the times were hard. He had a lot of ex-wives, alimony, and he was crippled with
Right.
arthritis. The only thing I hate about seeing John Carradine in these movies is you just look at his hands and his knuckles look like someone has shoved walnuts under his skin. I mean, he was crippled.
His hands were that one shot when he's the doctor. His
Yeah.
fingers are like at 90 degrees to his knuckles.
So it's so interesting because what that is that creates that arthritis. It's that uric acid, which is also what's released. See, I pop my knuckles all the time, and that one doctor proved that that's absolutely a lie, that it creates arthritis. I think it actually does the opposite, because when you don't pop your knuckles, that's when you get the buildup of the uric acid. That's how they get these big lumpy things. And have you ever looked at some? It's got like these it's like crystallized.
It's terrifying.
It's a buildup
insane.
of that crystals.
For
in
all
it.
our viewers out there, we are not doctors, but yeah,
But we
Well, I
plenty one
will
on
say
the
though,
case
no,
of cards.
Well, we watch a
there's-
lot of movies, so
There's definitely
I have
proof.
stayed in a
There's that doctor did prove that popping your knuckles does
Yeah.
not cause arthritis.
right,
That was a
right.
lie.
There's a
That
lot
was
of that
something
stuff.
perpetuated for years. And people told me always to not pop my
right,
knuckles.
oh
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, the
Nah.
popping sound is a releasing of gas that's trapped between that builds up during the day.
Well,
It is.
and that acid and that uric acid.
Mhm.
That's like actually
Apparently,
what's
mine
building
doesn't
up.
do that. I've
Yours
never been able
really?
to crack my knuckles. But
Oh, that's wild. I love it. It feels so good too. It's
I
like,
do it all day long.
yeah. But
I have
know,
never
like,
ever heard my knuckles crack.
Wow.
I do think it's genetic too. My parents, they never
Probably.
had any issues, but
All
like
right.
I can't. When they get like that, I'm like, how do your hands get like that? It makes me sad.
Mine are fine. I don't know.
Well, that could be carpal tunnel too from using the mouse all the time. It's like
So,
your hand gets stuck in that
Good for
position.
scratching hard to reach places.
John Carradine, somebody went and picked him up and drove him. It was like a 2 or 3 hour drive
Oh, I'd
to
volunteer
where
for
they
that
were
in a
filming.
heartbeat.
They did the scenes, and then they went to drive him back. And I think it was Ulli. It was either Ulli Lomel or the one of the other guys, cinematographer or editor, driving him back. And I didn't know it was Ulli Lomel. They got so tired they were falling asleep, so they just told him, "I gotta pull over and take a nap."
What?
So, John Carradine, they're driving John Carradine in the car, and
Like, bitch, you better get my ass
Wow.
home. I
Yeah.
want to be. No, F you, bro. Take me home now.
oh well, you wouldn't want to force.
No, you probably
Yeah.
don't.
Uh,
I doubt that he could
I
take
would.
the
I
wheel.
wouldn't. I would be like, no, you're a dirty, filthy, rotten pervert. You will not be pulling over on the side of the road with me. Like that
But-
is insane.
But when you hear these stories, you know, like he gets picked up. He's in this drive. He's literally learning his lines while they're driving,
Yeah.
going over his lines. He gets there, rips them off in one takes, apparently.
Now drive me home.
Now drive me home. Pin me, pay me. Oh my God. First of all, you're driving John Carradine back to the airport and you're falling asleep. It's like, hey, Mr.
I know,
Carradine,
that's
tell me about the golden age of Hollywood. Tell me some stories.
No kidding,
oh
no
man,
kidding.
I wouldn't sleep for 4 days listening to this guy. Shut.
Or just get a surely there
Get
had
a
to
cup
be
of
someone
coffee.
else. Like, yeah, like oof.
I'm
Hey,
pretty
No
sure it's
Dose
probably
was
all
very
that cough
popular.
syrup he drank that morning.
Yeah. Well.
All right.
An Aqua
Well,
Belt.
I think he adds something to this movie.
Oh, I do too.
Although it's still
yeah.
not, all that well written.
He gives
Well,
it
his-
100%.
and I'm not
as he
sure
always does.
he was right. He was spot on.
Yeah.
He gave that movie a touch of class. Where
Right.
it absolutely needed some. And
Yeah, and he's practicing aversion therapy way before it becomes a thing, right?
Yeah.
Go face your fear.
He's thinking to himself, at least I'm not doing Frankenstein Island. Oh, wait.
no problem.
Frankenstein's Island is not bad though. Come on. What is wrong with y'all?
Oh,
What is
Spooky
wrong?
stuff. So there's the priest with the blood running down his head.
Yeah. That's a nice
Mhm.
shot.
yeah.
Yeah. And we got
And
the Friday the
there's,
13th.
Uncle so and so with a pitchfork.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the knife when they're actually showing the knife walking with it, it's so bad.
Mhm.
Snort.
Oh, and the
man.
kid's walking at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah, that shot at the bottom.
Okay, and that's a very Giallo-esque kind of thing. So like I said,
Oh,
this
at the
movie's
bottom.
got
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie's got a lot of influences.
oh well,
I
when
thought
and when the-
Halloween.
yeah,
well,
that's
that's
that
yeah.
too.
But when
the
the
kid-
mom and the dude are in there, they literally have red and blue lights on them too.
Mhm.
Like it's very, it's.
Oh, yeah.
But what's weird, Bill, is it starts off like that. It's like they did the homages in segments. They didn't like merge this stuff. It's like they just did segments of different films. It's wild.
Yeah.
Love
So
that
what's
kid's
different about this? So this is where my thing is that this is a little bit different. So you start off, you get this definite Halloween vibe because you have this camera slowly moving up on the house, right? And then you see the mother's thing is having her boyfriend put a hose over his head like she's being raped, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and the kids are outside looking in the window at them and seeing their mother do this kinky stuff, whatever it is. And then when they see him, the boyfriend takes the little boy and ties him to the bed,
Yeah.
spread eagle, and gags
Weird.
him.
Yeah.
And then they go to bed. So that's quite a bit. You know, Michael Myers, as far as we know, from the original Halloween, was not abused in any way.
Yeah.
Right. He just,
The Rob Zombie version, he was.
but these guys saw, they saw some
Yeah.
kinky stuff, and they could have really been worried about their mother. The little girl goes and gets the knife, and so she's complicit in a way, cuts him loose, and then he goes in with the knife. So that's, to me, one thing that's different from Halloween. It's like a step farther,
Yeah.
right? Anyway,
It's weird.
and that kid, I love that kid. He climbs up there just because he wants to see his sister naked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, is that what he was doing? I thought he was
Yeah.
trying to just scare her. I didn't know he was like.
Well,
trying to
maybe
get
he was
her
gonna
over.
Well,
try
they
to scare her.
established at the end that he liked to hide in the shower and scare people when they came in.
Yeah,
They
like
did,
I
they
feel like
did.
he just. Yeah.
Because didn't he say something like Boogey Man when he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he called
Mhm.
her. Yeah.
Jeff's Freudian.
He won't be.
I know. I was like,
Well,
we're
I'm just
making it
telling
out
you.
to be. I feel like it's just. Yeah.
We're giving this movie too much credit.
Yeah.
And then
No.
and some,
Some. Yeah.
what do you call this? Violent.
The one part I liked was, that she ends up connected to this guy, and
Yeah.
then they think, oh, look at the two of them just snogging in the car there.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
leave them there.
That's the
Wah, wah.
longest kiss ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called that the kiss of death. The crew.
Oh,
I
that's
thought it
fair.
was kind of good, actually.
Yeah,
That's
that
what they
wasn't
should have
bad.
named the movie, Kiss of Death.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say one thing about Ulli Lomel. If you take any three of his movies from different times of his life and put them together and watch them, you don't get the feeling that these were made by the same person. And there
Is that
is
a good thing?
Well, there are those. I disagree. There are those who believe, in film theory and everything, that a director should not have a distinctive style, that it's actually a flaw if you're a Hitchcock or a John Carpenter or whatever, where
You're
you can look at it and
repeating
say,
yourself.
oh, that's clearly a Dario Argento movie. Yeah, that violates the idea of film.
That's people who don't ever want to be successful, clearly.
And a lot of times,
Because-
two directors will get pigeonholed into those.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
still, do you want to
to?
have success and make money, or do you want to be obscure and no one watches your stuff?
Well, I'm gonna draw a connection
Take
that Chad's not gonna like.
Uh-oh.
I don't like
Chad's
anything
not
so
gonna
far.
So look at the big progressively changed through their whole careers. McCartney's still changing. He's got
Yeah, they
some
got
weird
worse
things
and
coming
worse.
out lately.
Oh.
No. They just never stayed the same. They were always trying new things.
But
they were so interested in the music.
but if you listen to something from Hard Day's Night and all the way up to, okay, clearly, they're doing different things, they're experimenting with sound, but at every step I still think that's the Beatles.
It's the Beatles every time you hear it.
I
Easily.
think it's
Now-
because you've heard it so many
Well,
times.
that is probably also true, but that they were just it's hard to say. I like it when a director has a style.
I defy anybody to say, if they've never heard them before, to listen to Love Me Do and Tomorrow Never Knows and say that's the same band.
I don't know hardly any of those songs. I don't like the Beatles. So
I love the Beatles.
yeah. So
well,
for
you're
me,
definitely
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
But
I get it. Yes. I know.
and those are like 3.5
I'm like-
years apart.
Hmm.
So I just anyway.
So
we know.
okay, love me.
Me and-
Too.
me and Nick
See,
know.
I don't know those.
Me and
I was
I'd
more of a
probably-
Stones guy.
Devo.
Oh my god, it got
There's a
so
band that
quiet. I was
doing
like,
the same stuff.
Stones
I'm
guy.
not
Oh
gonna
my
be
God.
the one to break
You're the
this.
devil.
All right.
We'll have some
Everyone
I think
sympathy.
that's all the stuff here. I was trying to think here. Did we
Ah,
hit,
nice.
hit
But
the
I'm
family, hit the reshoots, hit the. Yeah, I think I got everything. Any other comments?
Edit here.
Yeah.
He's like, crystals? Yeah. No, I get it though. I think I'm like the only person that doesn't really like. I don't know.
Oh no, you're not.
I
You're
don't
not.
No,
It's like
there's
a
lots.
thing. It's a thing.
There's lots of
Yeah.
people. Yeah. So the high point of this movie was Crystal's song. I just want to say.
They should have played that over the credits of this movie.
I will say, like I said, I did like the green eye thing they did. That was kind of cool.
We are
Weird.
clutching at straws here. Yeah. I
Yeah.
like
Well,
that
I just
one
think-
shot.
Well, how many stuff can you guys think of this? I think there was one in I know there's been mirror spirits before. But how many can you think of?
Oculus.
Well,
No.
that's not before.
Oh, before.
Oh, I don't know. Probably, yeah.
Or
Hmm.
Fucculus.
I mean, I know there was. I
Santos
just kept
called it.
going. So I think.
Wasn't there one of those portmanteaus we did where there was a mirror? There was a
Oh
creepy
yeah,
guy in a mirror.
Can someone explain to
Dead of
me
Night too. That was
how
way back in
he-
45.
got trapped in the mirror?
Because she was watching him. She was only watching the mirror as the brother stabbed him to death. So
The answer.
For what?
No
Crystal, is
answer.
No.
no, there's no
Okay,
actual
okay.
reason.
Just making sure. I was like, because
It's supernatural.
so none of
stuff.
this makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I'm not like crazy there.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Yeah,
Drugs
yeah,
bad,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know. I guess we're done.
We got our shock ending too with the, oh no, there's a piece of mirror there and it's glowing. Dun dun
Well, that
dun.
whole thing with his
And did you see the
The
way he was
mirror on
holding
the
the other
bottom of
little
his
kid
shoe,
down?
that was
Like I was
hilarious.
like, no. I don't like
Mm.
that at all. That's creepy.
Seems to be a theme.
which part was that?
Yeah. At the end where one of the kids was holding the other kid down like that, like It's just weird. yeah. At the very end with the mirror is weird. That's all.
Like, hey, we're not making tenderness of wolves here. Come on, knock it off.
I think we got
Tenderness.
about everything we can think of here. So this
Yeah.
movie is available. It's streaming on Shudder, but Vinegar Syndrome saw fit to put out a 4K Ultra HD of this,
Here we go.
as well as a standard Blu-ray format.
you get it?
course he
Anybody
did.
who wants to do that, not as far as any of you know.
He's like, I'm not going to admit it to you guys anymore, you judgy
Yeah.
bitches.
He knows we'd tear him a new one if he got
That's
the,
right.
we knew that he got the Blu-ray.
All right, I got it.
No, well, I mean, I think it's cool to like buy
Yeah.
that stuff.
Sure.
I mean, really physical. I
Crystal,
wish
you're
I
so
bought more physical
accommodating. It's
media.
so charming that you
Yeah.
show grace to Jeff for buying the Blu-ray.
Jeff will probably watch it again, though. I mean, like,
No.
he's probably the one person that
I've
would
watched
get
it enough times because there was 2 commentaries on it, so that was
Oh,
3
boy.
times. Although you don't actually have to watch it to listen to the commentary. But
I picture at Jeff's house, there's a countertop or something where the TV is. There's like 70 Blu-ray players, and he's throwing them in like frisbees.
I do. I need more TVs.
He's like, this looks great. This
All
is-
right. Okay. Well, that's it for the Boogey Man. Thanks, Crystal. I mean,
Mhm, yeah.
she says, "Have we covered the Boogey Man?" And I say, "No, we haven't." Well, let's do that.
I've
Okay.
been in that spot before.
Yeah. That's okay.
Mhm.
We do have some feedback here. So, number
Ooh.
1, I'm gonna give this one to Bill.
Oh, because it's Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah.
176 Cannibal Holocaust from Jen 5628.
Jen says, I kind of felt bad for the female crew member. Imagine you were being raped and beaten while your boyfriend stands there and films you all because another film crew member says, don't save her. Let's just film the act and her instead. But I will never watch it because of the animal killings and rapes. I looked up the plot instead. Yeah, you know what, Jen?
Wait, what?
I see where she's going here. If you know about this movie, you can read up enough about it. If you make the choice like this doesn't sound like it's for me, you are
Absolutely.
What is that? What about the female crewman? What is she? What is that? What is
Well,
she
that
talking
woman,
about?
the
the
crew
movie.
of their film
in the
crew
movie.
shooting down in the Amazon,
Yeah.
and the one of the women is getting raped by the natives, and the guys do not
Yeah.
save her.
What are you? What do you? I mean, you mean like
There's,
in the movie,
in the
like
movie,
it, like
right.
fake? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah, okay. I see what I'm like. Wait, what? Because I've never heard of an actual rape of. Or
There's two
anything
scenes in the
associated with
movie.
this
There's
film.
the scene
No,
with the
there's
two.
lots
Yeah.
of rapes in the film, but
Yeah.
that's not reality.
No,
I
no.
just needed to separate that.
Right.
That's what I was looking at. I was like, wait, what
Yeah.
happened? Okay. So it's just acting in the film.
Right,
I'm just
right.
making sure that that's what we're talking about. Okay.
And I think what
Yes.
you're saying, that you can, these are very unlikable characters, but you can
Oh,
maybe
of
have some
course.
empathy with the woman who's kind of having to go along with these awful guys. Although they're
But she-
all awful. Everyone in this
No,
movie is terrible.
She was.
She
her
didn't
whole
want to
thing
see
is
the,
so
the
sad. It's
cruelty to
awful.
animals
Yeah,
or
and there's
the,
no
the female
judgment
rape, you know.
If you didn't
So-
want to watch that, there's
No judgment at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at
That's one
It's a hard
I
watch.
do not recommend to a lot of people.
Right.
Like I said, this should never be made again, but I can contextualize it considering what a weird, what was it actually technically it was the late 70s, wasn't it? That,
Yeah.
but
There's a lot of movies I'm not going to go see a Serbian film. I don't need to watch all
a
of
Serbian
Salo.
film is awful.
Yeah. Now,
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
they're well made.
I
They
do
the
not
job.
own the Blu-ray of that.
I'm not a fan.
Ooh.
I don't really feel any need to go out and watch Terrifier 2, but I know a lot of folks
Oh,
who
it's
love it
so
and
good
everything.
though.
I know, and that's the thing. I don't judge. I think I know at this point.
Did you see
what's going to
Martyrs?
Entertainment. Yeah, that was a tough slog for me.
I
too.
loved Martyrs. Martyrs.
It's a very
is
well made horror
brutal.
film, and if someone says my favorite horror film is Martyrs, I totally get it. It's just not mine. It's just not the kind of thing
That's
that's
cool.
probably going to make me feel better about life.
All right.
No, it's horrible. Like that's depressing.
So thank you, Jen.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Jen.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like,
appreciate
that
it.
actually just freaked me out. I was like,
You know
wait a
what?
second,
Listen
what?
to our podcast, and now you don't have to watch the movie.
So
Just
episode
I was about to be
258.
like, I'm never gonna watch that movie again. Just freaked me out like it was real. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
is there something new? Okay, sorry. Robert Baker.
episode 258, Just Before Dawn, from Robert Baker. Chad, do you want to take that?
Okay. Robert says, I discovered this movie when I was branching out to see the more obscure slasher films of the 80s. The setting was great, I thought. I often told people that if you like the fact that Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, and The Burning, etc., were set in the woods, then Just Before Dawn is the straight up wilderness. Also liked how the final girl in this one went from being the most scared to the only one actually doing anything later in the story, rather than just screaming and running around. No one back then knew that if it were night and you didn't scream, the killer would have a harder time finding you. Eerie whistling music as well. Also thought this shooting location would have been great for a Bigfoot movie. Take care, all. I think so too.
While Robert brings up Bigfoot, I can't remember if I told you guys this or not, but Play Now Media is going to launch a cryptid channel.
Oh, cool. That's
sometime
neat.
in the not so distant future. I don't know exactly when, but I know somebody that might subscribe to that. Episode 259, Santa Sangre. By the way, Crystal, have you seen that?
I didn't watch it. No,
okay.
I didn't watch it, y'all. I'm sorry. I feel awful. I will watch it, but
so from Jerry Chandler, could you read that, Crystal?
yes. This means I need to see it, because if Jerry feels this way, I trust Jerry. I love this film. Just visually gorgeous and such a wild ride. So wild a ride. Dear God, such a wild ride. Whatever. That's how I'm wording it. This is easily my favorite film of Jodorowsky's. Is that it? Jodorowsky's efforts. The insanity and the surrealism of his earlier efforts are in there, but the storytelling is, at least somewhat, more coherent and lucid. Unlike Bill, I got lucky. This was my first J film. I learned about it from a then brand new book covering 101 horror films most people weren't aware of. Oh, that sounds cool and needed to see. Now I want to know what that book is or what's in there. Took about 8 to 10 years to find it, but I saw it. That sent me after the other films. I think I was able to appreciate them better, seeing where he would go and being a tad older than Bill when he saw the early efforts. Interesting. 101 horror films most people weren't aware. Okay. The graphic novels he's been working on over the years are wild. Pure Jodorowsky. We're tracking down. Jeez,
Hey, that was pretty
last
good.
name.
Yeah.
You got it.
That last name. And I'm like, I'm going to
Carrie.
try to remember it because it's going to make
Well,
me
and Crystal, just so you know, this is he got the idea because he met a serial killer in Mexico that had been freed from jail after 30 years.
Oh, God.
And the guy came up to him in a bar and told him how much he loved his comic books, his graphic novels. And they ended up having this discussion. So that's where the idea for the Santa Sangre came from.
I think you would really like that film,
I
Crystal.
got to watch it now.
Yeah.
And also on Santa Sangre from Mikey Z. Bill?
Mikey Z says, Alejandro Jodorowsky's weirdness runs rampant in this bizarre story of circus performers and the results of decadence, insanity, murder, and just what the F-edness. Visually stunning and hauntingly psychotic, and yet there are comedic moments interspersed throughout. Bizarre might be too tame for this tale. You have a tattooed woman who gets sexually aroused when knives are thrown at her, a recurring theme of armlessness from several of the film's elements and characters, religious tenets turned into perversity, literal whitewashing of crimes committed, so much to talk about here. Jodorowsky engaged his own family as key characters in this film. I wonder what psychological damage was caused. This film has one of the best performances coming from Blanca Guerra as Concha, the central female character who holds her son's existence in her arms. Oh, I see what you did there.
He's
If nothing,
funny.
he is. If nothing, the film is not boring. Batshit bonkers, but not boring. Just look at the Invisible Man homage for a truly surreal thematic scene, part comedic, part sad. Great podcast, guys, into a really nutso film. But you wouldn't expect anything but from the dementedly artistic mind of Alejandro Jodorowsky.
I'll try to
So I have a question.
Crystal would like it.
Yeah, I can
I'm
tell
not,
I would.
I am kind of trying to be a smart ass, and I'm not blaming you at all, but why does everybody say Alejandro and pronounce the J as an H, but when they say Jodorowsky, they don't say Jodorowsky?
Because his last name is not Spanish. I don't know what that is. That's
well,
not
he's from,
Spanish.
but he's Chilean. So I don't know where his family
but
came
the
from,
last name is not Spanish. So
I don't know. Why do I say Jim when it's J-G-Y-M?
He probably
Because
has
if you said him, it's just saying his pronouns.
he could be born
just
there
being
and
smart.
has a Spanish or
Oh,
a
stop.
Chilean.
It wasn't a serious
Chilean.
question, Crystal.
I'm curious.
Oh, well, no. Okay. I was like, I thought you were serious. Ski, I would assume, not necessarily Polish, but I mean, he's just mixed. He's got to be mixed.
Well, they talk.
His father's last name.
Yeah, okay. But when they talk to him, the people that were talking to him pronounced his name Jodorowsky.
Really?
Yeah. But everybody I know in the U.S. always says Jodorowsky. So
Well,
all right, that's it for.
I've never heard that though.
Now that I've insulted our crew here,
it's Polish. That last name is Polish.
Well,
Wouldn't it be
That's what I
SKI
said.
if it was Polish?
It doesn't matter. They changed the spelling
Okay.
all
right.
the time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like that, because I'm like, oh, he's Jewish Ukrainian,
Oh,
and he was
well,
born in Chile.
all bets are off.
So there you go.
and lived in Chile, Mexico, and Paris, and Spain, I believe.
Yeah. I was like, no, I'm telling you this. That is not Spanish. That's all I know.
So you
now,
know
Alejandro, but I mean,
you know the famous story about his version of Dune.
Oh yeah.
We're not going there, but I just look it up.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Jeez.
There is a whole movie about it.
There's a documentary about Jodorowsky's Dune, and it's amazing, and it's the reason why we have Alien, because the crew.
And it's also very strange that it got to that point and didn't get made. It's like,
Oh, I'm amazed it got to that point. There's no way that movie ever could have been made.
well, it looked like they had it all figured out.
He had it all figured out, but what he had figured out was a 12-hour movie that had nothing to do with the books
Well,
or very little. It was
that
cuckoo
too.
for Cocoa Puffs, but
Okay, so we like comments and listen to us. Look
Sure
how we
do.
talk about the comments and
yeah.
argue
So
with each other and talk about pronunciations.
Who
Now, I
cares?
did hear. I do have to say this. I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to give names, but we have gotten multiple complaints from listeners from the UK laughing at our pronunciations of English names like Michael Goff and locations and stuff. I heard a British person doing the commentary for this movie, and they kept talking about it being shot in Maryland.
Maryland. Ha ha. Who's laughing now?
So I'm not paying any attention anymore. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go
Sure,
eat your
they're-
yeah. Go
But
eat
I
your
will say
spotted
like-
dick and leave us alone.
Wow.
A big can of it.
Big can of spotted dick.
boy, we're
I love bangers and mash. So
Oh, that is good.
We
No,
love
no.
you guys. We love you guys.
Yeah,
All
we
right, we
love-
gotta wind up, but leave feedback on
Oh, we
the
insult
YouTube
all of our
channel.
audience.
This has been a very disconnected podcast, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It was either
Now
that or
I'm-
talk
Yeah.
about the Boogey Man.
So leave comments on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel, or you can send emails to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. What else? Yeah, go to Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel and like, subscribe, hit the alerts button. Then you'll know when we have new episodes coming out. We also have the Gruesome Magazine podcast that reviews new to streaming and theatrical releases. So check those out. All righty. I think that's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Next up is one chosen by Chad.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun.
That'll probably be released just in time for Father's Day. But anyway,
It's on Shudder.
it is on Shudder, and
I saw that at a
think there's
drive-in.
Joe Bob treatment too,
Oh, good. I always like those.
and that is a crazy movie.
It sure is.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Crystal will
Mother.
love this movie.
Oh, she's.
Okay.
I already know.
Oh,
she's
I
gonna
do,
love
yeah.
this
Yeah,
movie.
she
It's
will.
got crystal written all over it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's
But now I gotta
fun.
go see Santa Sangre. That sounds super fun. This guy's so weird.
Yeah.
I like him. Well, I mean,
He is
passed away
very
a couple years ago.
eclectic. So this movie has a 40-person blind choir.
What?
Mhm.
It
What he said.
has a group of Down syndrome people
Oh,
out on a field trip in the nightlife of Mexico City with a guy feeding them cocaine.
And a dead elephant.
what?
An elephant
What?
dies. An elephant dies. Well, it's not really feeding them cocaine.
Okay.
It's kind of like
Okay.
Cannibal. It's a movie. It's a movie.
Well, Cannibal Holocaust is real though,
Yeah.
so we can't say it's kind of like Cannibal Holocaust. We got to say it's like, fake.
Cannibal Holocaust isn't real.
With Alejandro, though, it's like, yes, we did not use real cocaine. It was heroin. I mean, who knows? I believe any story from any of his movies.
And what else? Oh, the guy that rips his ear off.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's a
Are we
cool-
still rolling?
Yeah.
Yeah. we are.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Catch us again here in 2 weeks.
We'll still be
For another
talking.
great horror movie of the 1980s, as only decades of horror can do it. And it's been at least a month since we were all together. So
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome
probably
to
why
see
we're
you. Wow,
such
feels like
chatty
forever.
Cathy's here.
That's right. That's right.
We promise to be more focused next time.
Yeah, don't make any promises we can't keep.
Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.